Thank you, Judy, for the question. Corruption cases in Indonesia are increasing every year. In Constitution, corruption is classified into harming state finance, bribery, embezzlement in office, extortion, fraudulent tax classes in procurement, gratuities. In the context of eradicating corruption, it is necessary to carry out integrated enforcement, international cooperation, and harmonized regulations. I really agree with the Prime Minister's side on the second point that impoverished mean making poor people who live below the poverty line. This can be alternative punishment for corruptors compared to death penalty, which only has a temporary effect. I mean, wages death will down, but if they are improvised in, it will create different effects because corruptors have to live their lives, carry on their daily life instead of property. Regretting what was confessed by the leader of the opposition, that punishment for improvising the corruptor does not only have an impact on the corruptor but also his family. In the case of corruption committed by corruptors, families not take part. Logically, the family know the irregulation that occur as a sign of corruption. There are many cases where corruption actually get encouragement from the family in order to fulfill their prestige and lifestyle. I also respond to the question from the leader of opposition whether only good people deserve to be separated from the poverty line. Here we are discussing punishment in which the corruptor as an individual who is ensnared in punishment must carry out the punishment. Then with this, I said with absolute certainty that the act of improvising corruptor is a law that must to be enforced in order to provide a different effect to the preparators.
Ladies and gentlemen, please let me continue of what member of government said, that we strongly encourage the act of impoverished to corruptors is the right thing to do. But before all of that, I will summarize of what both sides' argumentation on the government sides believe that impoverishment is the right thing because mainly it will give an effect so the corruptors can learn their lesson by making them in a state that is not different with a low class citizens, and it will make them harder to get back in their feet and repeat the act of stealing billions of money, and it prevent them to make the citizens in a more sorry state than they already are because their right is taken away. Also, the government side states that impoverishment will have more effect than just rehabilitation. The opposite side states that the otherwise. They state that impoverishment is injustice and can bring a long-term burden to the state because the ex-corruptors ended up unemployed and become in a state that the government in the states need to take care of them too. They also reviewed that the cows will be affected too to their family as well. But this government side also reviewed again with the family about the family will going to suffer nonetheless from the impact of the media exposure. Also the opposite side taking a note in a more than rehabilitation works better. And then even from all of this, you should realize that indeed government side is more logical to be applied here. Just like what member of government said, that the family of the corruptors is in a part of the corruptor side because they also might be the reason why the corruptor is doing the deed, because it is to fulfill their prestige and lifestyle. The family should have noticed that too. It is the logical thing to think that it is the family is already noticed that. So next is, of course, what member of government side say too, that we should point out more of this matter of do only a good people deserve to be separated from the poverty line, because it is a matter of fact that we should separate a punishment and not a natural situation when people can get out of the poverty lines, because it is just how it is for them. So it is the point anyways. So the corruptors want to do their deeds again. I also want to rebuke what the deputy leader of opposition when she said that rehabilitation is better because it didn't bring a long-term burden to the state. Now just ask yourself, which the part will burden more to the state? So just some or a few ex-corruptors being unemployed, or the money that the state lost because of some people like them? Which one is it? So which one have the greater effects to the state? Of course it is the second one, right? When the corruptor able to do more corrupt acts because they belittle the effect we punish upon them, if it is just a rehabilitation and not impoverishment. So therefore, by all of this reason, we protest support of impoverishment of corruptor. Thank you.